So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Patriots, Gaytriots, Theytriots. All right, listen up. It's a new year, same old bitter us.
Yes.
I mean, we are not changing. If anything, I want to find more things to be pissed off about in 2025.
Yes, and I'm finding it easier all the time.
It really is.
It's just getting easier.
It's getting so much easier to be an asshole.
It is.
All right, Pumps, what have you had it with?
Okay. In the spirit of our new year, I have had it with people piling on the same saying. So about 6 months ago, I heard around the time of the Olympics, give her her flowers, give him his flowers, meaning they should get credit. Their performance deserves praise. I hear give him or her the flowers 3 or 4 times a day on different like clips, social media. I've had it. Why do we all have to say the same thing? There's no originality in sayings. Everybody has to say the same thing. I'm not against people praising performance or any other form of success. You can say I'm a bitter old hag, and that's true, but I do cheer for other people to have good things. But I fucking had it with the jumping on and repeated use of the phrase, give him or her the flowers.
Let me ask you this. We get a lot of piling on in critiques of us,
Right?
particularly the bitter old hag.
Mm-hmm.
And do you apply that same anger and grievance towards the piling on in the comment section of them calling us bitter old hags?
Because it's unoriginal and
Yeah.
overused. I would, but there's a little bit of truth to it.
There is. And I think that we are so desperate that any sort of attention we greet with a smile.
Positive or negative. It's
We're
all
just like,
attention.
hey, they took the time out of their day to comment on how bitter and how haggish we are. And so, I mean, kudos to them.
It could be love. It's passion.
It is. It's something.
It is something.
Yes, because I certainly don't spend my spare time commenting on podcasters' social media accounts that I don't like.
Right.
What I do when I don't like somebody is I have nothing to do with any of it. There's zero energy.
Well, you know what they say. The opposite of love is not hate. It's ambivalence.
I think that's apathy.
It's always been ambivalence when it comes to divorce.
Anyway, I want to share a story with you.
Okay.
What I've had it with. I've had it with drivers that intentionally provoke road rage on purpose. And the other morning, I was going to an appointment that was at 7 a.m. And so I left my house around 6:40 a.m. And as I'm going through a light, right when I hit right where I'm about to cross into the intersection, it goes from green to yellow. So I'm totally golden to go on through. At the same time, this guy who is in the lane that's going to cross the street the other way pulls out about, 40% into the intersection. So I have to stop because I'm afraid that I'm going to crash into him. And he kind of looks at me and I kind of look at him and I thought, it's early, whatevs. And the light, I look up, it's still yellow at this time. So I have to kind of go around him. Well, he turns right so that he can be behind me. And then he gets in the lane next to me. And then I hear his engine rev up. And he speeds up so that he can be in front of me. But he's in the lane to the left of me. So we're in opposing lanes, but we're in parallel lanes, but going the same direction. He has one of those illuminated middle finger things.
I've seen those.
That you've seen online, so he can light it up. And he starts repeatedly flipping me off with his little sign that he had installed into his car. And I thought to myself, this little pink arm motherfucker.
Right.
So we get to the next light and we're right next to each other. So I just go ahead and roll down my window. I mean, guns be damned, right? So I just go ahead and roll down my window and lean over and I go, do you feel better about yourself? Mind you, it's like 6:40 a.m.
Right.
This guy is such a pussy. He will not look at me. Nothing. He is acting like I'm not even there. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm really starting to feel emboldened. So I'm like, oh, so now you don't flip me off with your own finger. Can you flip me off with your own finger? Can you not do that? And he's just like, grasping the steering wheel for dear life. So here's what I think this guy does. I think he saw this little sign that you could buy
Right.
to put on the back of your car to flip people off with, a little digital remote control. And he thought, oh, this is fantastic. And he gets up in the morning and he creates instances where he had the red light. I clearly had the right of way, where he knew he was going to create some form of me being pissed at him for him protruding into the intersection. And then he tries to create this whole thing so that he can use a sign. And then I get right next to him, and this guy doesn't have the balls to flip me off with his own finger. Because if he wanted to flip me off with his own finger, as soon as we got next to each other, if he doubled down, I'd still think he was a nut, but I would respect it.
Right.
But the fact that he had to hide behind his little sign and then death grip his steering wheel, I just thought, this is the perfect example of a quote unquote alpha male. All bark, no bite.
Well, it's also the perfect example of a small wiener. I mean, that just jumps off the page to me.
It's been a while since you started talking about penis size.
Yeah, no, I mean,
2025, yeah.
2025, we're going to start talking about small penises. That is little dick syndrome, little dick energy, like I've never seen it. So he comes around. I mean, he's obviously not going the direction you are, but he flips it around so he can give you his neon light finger and then won't look at you. That is a pussy.
Will not. When we got to after he flipped me off 4 or 5 times, I thought, oh, he's so proud of his new sign.
Right.
I wasn't even that worked up, but I thought, okay, I'm going to pull up next to him. So I rolled down my window. I was like, do you feel better now? Like, 6:40 in the morning on a Tuesday. Do you feel good about yourself now? Can we all go on with our day? Will not look at me. And I'm like, come on, at least put your finger out. Flip me off with your own hand. Won't do it.
What a pussy. I mean, just a titty baby deluxe.
Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
All right. I have some news stories I would like to share. I believe this. This is a study that says people who walk fast tend to be less happy in life. And I have to say, I am a very fast walker. Mm-hmm. You are a very fast walker. Those are facts. We have a podcast called I've Had It that has a negative, unhappy premise to it. So I would say kudos to you scientists.
Right. I would say that's probably right. We're probably the evidence for that. Because Kylie always bitches about how we walk so fast and she doesn't. Do we think Kylie's happier than we are?
Kinda. I worry about how on earth Kylie has any dopamine or serotonin because I think she gets like 800 steps per day.
On a good day.
On a good day.
That's about right. And that's pushing it. That's like because I go up and down the stairs at the studio.
That's it.
And that's it.
You have to go to the bathroom. So do you think you're happier than we are as people?
I don't know about happier. I'm pretty happy, but I kind of think you guys are secretly happy too.
Secretly.
We don't want people to know that, but
Yeah.
Zip it, Kylie. That we have a brand to protect. Okay. The next story that I thought was pretty good news. Millennial dads spend 3 times more time with their kids than their fathers spent with them. Millennial dads are taking on parenthood with a newfound sense of responsibility, spending triple the time with their kids compared to the past. Research shows a big change in how parents share responsibilities, with the number of dads who've never changed a diaper dropping from 43% in 1982 to just 3% today.
Oh my gosh, that is great news.
I think that's excellent.
That is great news. Paternity leave wasn't a thing when we were younger and having kids. I had never heard of it. But now we know men that are taking paternity leave, and I think it's super important. And I think this generation, millennials, Gen Z, what I've been most impressed by with them is that they are destroying gender stereotypes, and to hear that men are taking on responsibility and the tasks aren't so male, female, I think that's great news.
I do too. And I know a frustration that we both had when our kids were really little is like I would go out of town for like maybe a day or two and I'd get back and Josh would say, I babysat the kids.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you didn't babysit the kids. You lived your life in the house with the humans that live there with you. That's not babysitting. That's not a job. That's just waking up and being Josh. That's what that is. And so I hope that kind of gets dismantled because I found that to be very frustrating. And I think a lot of Gen X baby boomers, they felt like anything they did for the kids was extra because all of the roles were so squarely put on a woman's shoulders. And I think that was it's just really unfair.
I do too. I remember going to dinner or going on a girls' trip, and my ex-husband would call me 57 times. I'd have to leave spiral notebooks of stuff to do with the kids. And that's bullshit. I mean, that's just bullshit. They're your fucking kids. Take an interest, be a parent. So I just think that's nothing but good news. And I think it'll be good for the kids eventually.
Okay, I think you'll really like this news story.
Okay.
It's right in your wheelhouse.
Excellent.
Sperm count has declined almost 50% in men across the globe in recent decades. This trend has been observed globally with potential causes including lifestyle factors such as poor diet, obesity, smoking, and stress, as well as environmental exposure to toxins like pesticides and plastics. Sedentary habits, prolonged heat exposure, and hormonal imbalances may also contribute to this decline, highlighting the multifaceted nature of the issue.
You know, before you said globally, I was going to assume that the sperm count in the United States was down because in Trump's America, beta males thrive and we sit on our computers and we are hateful and misogynistic and racist. But the fact that it's global, I can't blame that on Trump. I'd like to find a reason to blame it on him. But, you know, that doesn't surprise me. Sedentary, we're on our computers more as a society. You know, the hunting gathering days are more like on an app on your phone ordering stuff. So that's not necessarily a surprise to me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me one bit. And I think a lot of the reason that people are so much less happy, you know, like happiness factors are decreasing is because we're not moving. Like it is just this total sedentary lifestyle. And when I sit around too much, I am not happy. I do not feel good. We're the opposite that way. Like the more you lounge, the more your happier factor goes up. If I lounge too much, I start to feel this depressive like state, or I feel some form of anxiety. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see like all the GLP-1s, Ozempic, Wegovy. Josh and I were out recently and we were at a basketball game and he was like, let's look in the audience and see if we can like spot the people that are on Ozempic or Wegovy because of the hollowed out cheeks.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting like how all of this plays down. Everything is a quick fix.
Right.
Nobody ever has to do the work for anything anymore. Like you want something delivered to your house, click it on your phone. It's there in 10 minutes. You want to lose weight, you get a shot. You want, you know, to date somebody, you get on your app. And so I wonder what the long term, I don't think we'll live long enough to see like this, all of this skirting the system, what the impact is going to be on our species.
Right. Because
in 20 years.
Skirting, we've been anti-skirting for a long time.
The whole world is set up now to skirt the system.
Right.
How can you do less to get more?
Absolutely right. I mean, I was just thinking when you were saying that, like I grocery shop when I get up first thing in the morning and it's at my house when I get home from work. You know, I don't have to go to the grocery store anymore.
Right.
Of course, I will never give up my GLP-1. That's my favorite thing on planet Earth. So, you know, I'm a skirter.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm a total skirter.
No,
I get it, but I do not think
don't do GLP-1s.
You can underestimate how the skirting is going to affect long term.
Right.
It's got to.
There's just we are, particularly Americans, there is a pill for everything because we have fallen prey so much to big pharma, and the amount of pills that Americans take compared to other countries is staggering. It is staggering. And it's because of all the capitalism in the country. So I think it's going to be really interesting, like when we're much older, and we have like grandchildren, seeing what the impact. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question on that. It just reminded me. If Americans are taking more pills, I can believe that. Do you think with all the ads for all the erectile dysfunction shit that we have, you know, we've got wipes, we've got pills, we've got cream. I see it all the time on ads. Do you think American men are taking more erectile dysfunction, some type of medication, supplement, whatever, than European and other countries?
No.
You don't? You think it's universal?
I think the penis is the penis and the sex drive is the sex drive. I would love to, you know, I would love for there to be a study that came out that said that MAGA men took more erectile dysfunction than other men. And I welcome the scientists to do that study, but my gut tells me that sex drive is a universal, genetically encoded type thing, and that the skirting of trying to get a more fantastic erection would be universal.
Gotcha.
All right, Kylie, what's going on the internet?
I've got a couple reviews for you.
Okay.
This one is titled Eagle Noises, 5 stars. Ooh. And she writes, as a Hispanic woman, I so appreciate the honesty and unity y'all bring after nonstop yapping of I've had it. May Jennifer always have her sass, and may Mima always have her curtains.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I'm stuck with the curtains.
You could go. There's a plastic surgery for that.
I know. I've told that story on here before.
Okay.
Okay, this one is 5 stars from Jay, titled Browbeating Works. Okay, Jen, fine. Here I am. These white women with Southern accents have my heart. I make it a point to have women's voices emanating from my phone as often as possible. It delights me when I hear my husband laugh at them from the other room. If you think you don't have anything in common with them, you're wrong. If you think you know what they're going to say, you're wrong. They make me cackle each episode. Those beautiful jerks. I love it.
What a nice review. I like that.
Yeah. Even assholes like us people can find the goodness. That shows you how unique and amazing our listeners are.
And smart.
That they see goodness
in us.
In two washed up, old, and just for the record, I don't think I've said this that much in 2025. You're significantly older than I am. So, all right. I think that's all we have for our intro today, listener. We do have a guest today, and our guest is comedian and actor. His name is Roy Wood Jr., and he has a special called Lonely Flowers that is going to drop on Hulu on January 17th. Listener, this may come as a total shock to you, but Pumps and I have not always been this pulled together and rock solid. In fact, we used to be rather screwed up, wouldn't you say, Pumps?
I would say damn near psychotic.
Totally. And we have written a cell phone expose. One could even say it's a manifesto. And the book title is
Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches.
In all sincerity, we share a lot of our struggles that led us to this grand stage where we can talk about petty grievances. You can click the link below in the show notes to pre-order your copy now. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listener, new year, new you. It is time to dive into therapy to start off 2025 better than ever. Pumps and I both use BetterHelp because it's so convenient and it just makes my life so much more centered and I find so much more serenity.
Let's face it, the holidays are stressful. Being around family is stressful. Shopping, financial woes are stressful. I love the BetterHelp therapist because I can do it from home where I feel zero restrictions and I can absolutely be myself.
Listener, BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. You can easily switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/hadit to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hadit. Listener, it's January, and do we have a little New Year's gift that you can give to yourself? This is a 5-in-1 wellness hack. It is the Tushy Bidet. It helps improve your skin health, hygiene, and self-care while saving you time and money. Pumps, do you love your Tushy Bidet?
I love my Tushy Bidet. I feel so much cleaner and fresher throughout the day for having installed the Tushy Bidet, and it's such an easy installation. It's easy to clean. It is everything you want a toilet to be.
Listener, washing with a precise stream of fresh water removes 99% of bacteria compared to wiping with toilet paper. Installation is simple and takes about 10 minutes to complete. Literally anyone can do it, even Pumps. Tushy Bidet gives you 2-in-1 benefits, reducing irritation and preventing micro tears with soothing water instead of scratchy toilet paper or damaging wet wipes. Improve your wellness from the bottom up. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code HADIT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com, and be sure to use that promo code HADIT. As promised, we're back with our guest, comedian and actor Roy Wood Jr. Roy, how are you today?
I am well. I'm very well. This is my voice for you all, because this podcast has reverence. It is very focused anger, I think is the proper way to put it. It's not belligerent, yelling, ESPN bait anger. It's very X-Acto knife. I'm tired of ugly people kissing each other.
That's right.
And there's a passion to it. I've done some research.
Yes. You know, the thing about ugly people kissing each other, of course we want ugly people to kiss each other. Of course they should do that. I just don't want to see it. I think when it comes to PDA, you know, we need to have some sort of
like a minimum threshold.
A minimum threshold of attractiveness.
Is it fair to ugly people, as we've already deduced scientifically, two ugly people make a pretty person? So what you're witnessing is the creation of someone amazing, inevitably. And I think we're just so disconnected and angry as a society. I legitimately like it when I see two people making out in public. I know it can be a bit extreme,
right? But
I watch, and I don't know if that's creepy, but for like a split, I look for like half a beat too long. And I'm like, man, that's all right. In the midst of all this anger and cussing and yelling and political discourse, there's two people on this bus who love each other enough to say, I don't care who else is on this bus. I'm going to grab that ass right now.
Grab that ass.
Yeah, I'm sorry for coming in hot like that, but I just think we have to give a little bit of respect to ugly people. That's why you never really see the parents of gorgeous actors and actresses in Hollywood. Like, it's award season right now. You don't really see those parents. They keep them off in storage.
That's something I have noticed in my life. Like, exceptionally beautiful people, I feel like they have average looking kids, but I know a few people that are just unbelievably attractive, and I think their parents are below average. So I think there's something too, like the unattractive kind of makes attractive.
2 6s make a 10. And that's why when you see 2 6s, you know, in your case at a gas station making out, pumping 87 octane into the car, I think we have to go up to them and tell them thank you for what they're about to do for society.
Thank you for your service. Let me ask you this. As a connoisseur of watching PDA, where is it too far? What physical movements would you kind of go, okay, you just took it a little bit too far? What's acceptable and unacceptable in PDA?
I'm pretty sure the couple in front of me on the plane was fingering once. And I thought that was a little, it's like I understand, like maybe like over the panties or like over the pants, right. Like, you know, you can just rub the hump or just, you know, play with each other on top of your drawers. Uh-huh. But once you're like over and under and into each other's drawers, I thought that was a little.
Do you know who Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is?
Oh, yeah. You talking about Beetlejuice hand job.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's how I have her log in my brain. She saved as BeetlejuiceHandjob.jpg.
So what do we think about that? What do we think about the hand job at Beetlejuice while vaping? Which is, I mean, she's doing two things at a time. She's vaping and giving a hand job.
Which is terrible because smokers have dry mouth. So whatever comes after that hand job is going to be terrible. Only because the theater was crowded and Beetlejuice kind of has kids. I think, and this is as a person who has tried to have sex in a movie theater, shout out to Barbershop 2. You have to do it week 3 when it's a little less packed in the theater. I think that's the time to do it. And to be fair, Barbershop 2 came out at a time before like the stadium seating and the wider, because like this was one of those older theaters where the armrest didn't go up yet. So we're trying to find an angle.
Right.
You can't, like the only angle, we're both facing away from the screen. Well, that's not cool. But to face the other way, like to do doggy style in the theater facing the screen, there's no railing for her to keep her from falling forward. So we try to go the other way on the side, but you can't lay down because the aisles aren't wide. And we were both kind of big. I used to be like 50 pounds heavier and she was about the same weight as me. So we were both two huskies, if you will, trying to. So, you know, to Bobert's credit, though, they left. I mean, I know they were kind of kicked out, but you left. Once you know that you've got it in the bag, why are you still out? Go home and bang.
Wait, I need to get back to Barbershop 2. Were you able,
Barbershop 2 back in business.
were you able to execute? Were you able to take it over the finish line, or was this a failed attempt?
It was failed because once we got on the floor and it was sticky and you're kind of out of the mood of it. And like when you're doing something that slutty, once you get out the theater, you kind of look at each other and just, what are we doing? And we just went to California Pizza Kitchen. And I dropped her off and I didn't even try to like go in the house. I just walked it to the door like a Southern gentleman and just drove away, popcorn kernels, the back of my Tommy Hilfiger sweater.
Oh, that's so good. Well, Roy, what have you had it with?
I don't even know where to begin with you all, but I figure we start a little more serious. I have 2 or 3 I for sure want to get to. And if we have time, I have some more nuanced ones. I've had it with work sex scandals being this super big issue in this country without acknowledging that every now and then it works out when you bang your coworker. I'm not saying every time it works out. I'm not saying that this doesn't, contribute to a power dynamic that creates an opportunity for discrimination and workplace coercion. I'm not saying it's all good, but we act like the act of daring to be attracted to a person who's getting a check with you in the same building is this wrong thing. And it's not.
So do you think workplace romances should be judged on a case-by-case basis?
Yes. Now, if you're banging to get ahead and get a promotion and you did it one time, no. But I'm talking like this idea that there are some people who work together and are having sex and it works out fine.
Right.
Kelly Ripa and her husband are #1 in daytime.
Right.
Their ratings are higher than what they were when she was hosting with Ryan Seacrest. Now, I'm not going to say that sex with your co-host is the sole reason why it could have been some chemistry issues, but also sex. I feel like there's instances where it kind of works out. There were these 2. I'm going to try and do this without saying people's names because I'm trying to be respectful of people's space. But there were these 2 daytime talk show hosts that got outed a while back for having an affair with each other. They were both married, but it turns out they were actually having sex. Okay, we can argue the rights or wrongs of that, but that couple is still together. Is that not finding love? How is that not considered? Like how you got there, yeah, we can argue that that's right or wrong, but the idea that you're still with that person, still in a relationship. They got fired. And after getting fired, they started making public appearances together. They didn't hide like some scandal. They were like, no, we were in love. And it's like the idea that because of where you met means that your love is unsanctioned or invalid or not right. It just, I don't know. I just think we put a lot of stress on people. And when I say workplace, I'm talking like a real workplace with like Fortune 500 company. I'm not talking about somewhere with a deep fryer. That doesn't count. Everybody bangs.
I agree with you. I think there is obviously like a Matt Lauer situation, which is unacceptable. And we would all agree that there's no space for that in a Fortune 500. But what you're talking about, I agree that society puts this Puritan-like judgment on that. And we don't know what the state of their marriages were before. And it's really nobody's business. But the fact that they choose to get divorced and choose to stay together really shouldn't be the business of the consumers. And I think this is a very American, Puritan judgment about sex that we have to get rid of, because it's like in France, this kind of shit goes on all the time and nobody thinks anything of it. But this is a uniquely American, puritanical bullshit judgment thing. And I know the couple that you're talking about, and I don't think it's my business. And I thought they were both good at their jobs and good for them for being in love.
You fumbled your family and your career, and every picture we see of you since then is smiling.
Right.
Is that not what they tell us to pursue in life? It's happiness and find your person. And so it's possible to find your person at your job. And I think that part of the conversation, like Joe and Minka over at MSNBC, that's another great example of we're in love. Now, granted, they didn't meet that. Like, you can get into the nuances of how you got there, but I think it is possible to be in a relationship with somebody at your job and it be okay and it work out okay from time to time.
Right.
But we act like it's this huge live grenade that's being juggled around. And I understand that because of the Matt Lauers, because of the abusive politics within the workplace from men. And I get it. But let's not ignore that every now and then you can work with your spouse and maybe it's okay.
Right. I'm far more concerned when it comes to Joe and Mika about them slinking off to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring of Donald Trump without bringing their cameras. That bothers me far more than whatever slap and tickle took place before they did that.
Yeah, and I think that when you have happy coworkers, like there's also another company, I won't name this company, but there's a company that encourages coworkers to date and celebrates when those marriages happen within the building, as if to say our company is a place where you can meet, not only do your career, you might meet the love of your life. Well, does that not encourage people shooting a shot at the Christmas party and getting drunk and doing something wrong on the dance floor? Probably. I just, I don't know. It's a weird thing to be fed up with, but I just feel like we only look at one side of the coin with that. And I speak about this as a man who had a girlfriend who worked with him at Golden Corral in 2002.
Let me ask you this. Was the girlfriend at Golden Corral in 2002 the same person at Barbershop 2, or is this different?
Oh, no, baby. Barbershop 2, I don't know where she is in life. I don't know where she is in life. I hope she's doing well, but it's one of those things you can never run back. Like, once you've tried to have sex in a value movie theater, this is back in the day where movies would go. Let me tell you a story, children. There was not only the movies, then there was the dollar movie before the movie got to Blockbuster. So we were in the value movie theater.
Yeah.
And,
sticky knees is not romantic.
Homes.com knows that when it comes to home shopping, it's never just about the house or condo. It's about the home. And what makes a home is more than just the house or property. It's the location and neighborhood. If you have kids, it's also schools, nearby parks, and transportation options. That's why Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth information they need to find the right home. And when I say in-depth, I'm talking deep. Each listing features comprehensive information about the neighborhood, complete with a video guide. They also have details about schools with test scores, state rankings, and student-to-teacher ratio. They even have an agent directory with the sales history of each agent. So, when it comes to finding a home, not just a house, this is everything you need to know, all in one place. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Pumps, all of our listeners just rave and rave about your dramatic weight loss. How were you able to do it?
I was able to lose weight because of Row. Row gives access to GLP-1s. It's completely designed for me personally, and it shows up right at my door.
Listener, Row now offers FDA-approved weight loss vials for half the list price of auto-injector pens without applying insurance or saving cards, and with results you can see faster. This formula from Eli Lilly hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and with less nausea. Your Row-affiliated provider can help you understand if GLP GLP-1s are right for you and your goals, but that's just the beginning. Row members have support throughout the entire process. Join the over 385,000 people who have already chosen Row to access GLP-1s. All you have to do is go to row.co/hadit to see if you qualify. That's ro.co/hadit. Go to row.co/safety for boxed warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. 15% weight loss is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or with overweight with a weight-related condition on 5 milligrams of medication and when paired with diet and exercise. Half the list price when compared to auto-injector pens and when paying cash without applying insurance or saving cards. All right, pumps, new year, new us. We are not going to stink at all this year, thanks to our friends at Lumi. As everybody knows, I love to play tennis and pickleball as much as I possibly can, but I smell fantastic because of Lumi.
Lumi is so great. I particularly like the all over body deodorant because you can put it in hard to reach places. Like, I'm not ashamed to say I put it in my ass crack and under my boobs. And then the wipes for after workout are fantastic. It is the best stuff to use when you feel like you're sweaty and smelly.
Listener, Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code HADIT for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code HADIT at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. All right, well, what else is on your list of grievances? What's next?
I think that at some point we have to have a conversation about how can I put this? The lack of fighting in professional sports. I'm fed up with the lack of fighting in professional sports. I think that violence is part of the entertainment value of the sport. And when we really look at the NBA and everything that's been going on in the NBA regarding ratings, I know this is an amazing NBA podcast. This is a great topic to bring up with you too.
Hey, no, we're huge OKC Thunder fans. Shout out to
they are running the earth right now.
Crushing
it.
Do
they ever lose?
No, never. I was just at the Boston Thunder game 2 days ago. It was magnificent. Shout out to the team. Love you guys.
Yeah, SGA's not to be fooled with, and Pope, and like they are. That's a whole other conversation.
J. Will, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Thunder up, baby.
You need a fight once a week in an NBA game. Baseball gives you a fight about once a month. NFL is inherently violent. Hockey fighting is already part of the culture. But the NBA, I just think we need a little bit more fighting. I think golfing could benefit from that. I don't know quite what you do after the fight. Like in the, in the NHL, there's a locker room to go to after you got your ass whooped. But in golf, you're just kind of outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. I don't know. Maybe you have a golf cart or something to take you away. I was out with my son, and we went to a natural history museum. And, he's big in history and science and stuff like that. And I've gone to enough of these museums now to where, a lot of natural history museums, they're curated by the same group of people and, the same people with the same tendencies for what they think the museum should have, right? The curators, right? I am fed up with us praising extinct animals. They dead. They lost. Why are we praising these animals who couldn't figure out how to stay alive?
Kind of a point.
It's a pretty good point.
You go into these exhibits and they go, here's the woolly mammoth. And the woolly mammoth was one of the most dangerous and then it got cold and he froze like a bitch and he had wool.
What about the T-Rex?
Had wool.
What about the T-Rex?
Same game.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen the Jurassic Park movie?
Yeah. I've seen them all. I've seen the Chris Pratt's and the Goldblums.
Okay. If, let's say, the crazy billionaires, if they opened up a Jurassic Park, would you go there?
No. You know that's coming, right? Yeah. You know that's coming. They're digging up the bones. They're splicing the genes. They're going to give it some AI. And then we're going to have super smart creature, chip controlled. We're going to reintroduce the velociraptor to the ecosystem. Morons. I love the history of the earth, and I love exploring that. But whenever we talk about dead animals, whenever we talk about extinct animals, it's just, oh, they were great and then they died. And we're not talking about animals that like died because of human pollution and us changing up the ecosystem. The duck-billed platypus checked out a long time before mankind. He's bitch ass. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to say that some of these animals was bitch made and they couldn't cut it.
Yeah, they lost at evolution.
They couldn't cut it. Yeah, what would the world be like if it was still here? It'd lose again because now it's got to go up against pollution.
Okay, Roy, now we're going to play a game with you called Had It or Hit It. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it. Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Had it or hit it, circling back emails.
Oh, hit that. I circle back. I fired off all my circle backs on Jan 6. I put up a post on Twitter. There's a scene at the end of Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines where Skynet takes over and they fire off all the nuclear missiles to start the end of the world, to start Judgment Day. And there's a beautiful shot of a barn in Iowa. And there's like 50 nuclear missiles rising up on the horizon to end civilization. That's my Gmail outbox. At the end of Christmas, I've preset all these emails. I was typing emails on the Christmas night. My brain doesn't turn off, but out of respect to you, I set it to go out Jan 6. I wish I could do that with text messages. I'm all for circling back because here's the thing. You're not going to hide from me. You're not going to avoid me. I am as imminent and inevitable as the sunrise. So if you think that ignoring me or slowing your replies is going to change this issue, it's not. I'm going to be right here. And I want you to know that. And so one email turns into two. There's an issue right now with a charity. I'm not going to say the state that was supposed to donate some money in my name to a cause, and they have not. And it's been 4 months. I'm not fucking around. You have until Wednesday. So I sent that fucking Judgment Day missile up and lo and behold, got an email back. I'm not going to read you the email I sent them, but I'm going to read you back the email that they sent me. They said, hey, I apologize for this oversight. I thought it was taken care of in November, but there was an issue with our system. We screwed this up. I'm grateful that you pointed this out so that we could correct it. That's some good quality ass kissing right there. Thank you for showing me that I'm a fuck up so that I can correct being a fuck up. That's respect. That's what a nice, stern circle back email gets you.
That's inspiration for me to take into 2025 because I'm pretty pissed off heading into this new year. And I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Had it or hit it, masculine commercials.
Oh, had it. Why does every commercial have to have of fucking dude bro voice? Do you need dude bro voice to sell everything to men? I'm a man. Just tell me to take a bath. I'll buy Old Spice. Like every commercial is just a man and this one, and I wear their underwear, so this isn't hating. Duluth Trading Company. Underwear for a man and you. You could just say draws. Like Hanes has sold draws to men for years. They had Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley back in the olden days selling T-shirts. You don't have to do Mike's Hard Lemonade and you're drinking lemonade or you a man. It's like, hey man, It's okay. Like the Old Spice commercials. I love the Old Spice commercials, but I wish that there was a tweak. If there was a tweak I would make to the commercials, like you know the ones I'm talking about. It's Dion Cole and Gabrielle Dennis.
Yes.
And every Old Spice commercial is the woman that's, I took your shit. and then the man turns to the camera. Why you take my shit? I wanted to take a bath. Why, as a man, are they selling me body wash under the premise that women are annoying? Flip it, because they're in a happy marriage. As far as I can tell, you could flip it and you could have the woman just come in and go, hey, babe, I love you. Thanks for being a man and supporting and providing and putting a roof over me and the kids' heads and loving us so much. Here's some Old Spice. I'ma fuck you when you get out the tub. And then she leaves the room. And then Dion Cole turns to the camera and goes, see, if you be a man, your woman would take care of you the way she take care of me, and you'd have some Old Spice, but you at the house musty, motherfucker. That would be just as great of a commercial, and it's framed under the structure of a healthy relationship and not two people arguing. Like the bath is his escape. She should be in the tub with him, but you can't do that because, God forbid, some religious group get outraged at two black people butt naked in a tub enjoying Old Spice. I don't know. It's just, you must be a man or you must be mad at woman. This is a Ford truck. Look at the engine drop down in that Ford. Did you a man? Drive your truck next to horses out in the wilderness. Where the fuck are you going? It's just horses.
Okay, last one. Had it or hit it, Herschel Walker.
And too many people hit Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Heard that brother talk? That is, first of all, let me make sure I get this right. You're saying the word Herschel Walker, but he is United States Ambassador to the Bahamas.
Correct.
Herschel Walker. Now, the second question is to get Herschel Walker to find the Bahamas on a map. Like this map that's behind me, for the people who are just listening, there's a map behind me. You should put Herschel Walker in front of this map of the world and then just go, point to the Bahamas and you can have the job. And I guarantee you Herschel Walker would point to the Philippines.
Oh, no question.
No question. If he didn't point to Africa like a continent, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's a very interesting administration, and I will say that I'm nervously anxious to see how it all unfolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are. I mean, it's one of these things like where it's terrifying, but also like something delicious about watching the train wreck. And that's, I think, indicative of how screwed up we've all become the last 9 years. That we all haven't just, retreated into nihilism. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and I think that's part of why I wanted to make sure that my comedy special came out before the inauguration, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
You might be arrested.
I don't know. I'm very scared.
So let's talk about your comedy special. It's dropping on January 17th, 3 days before Trump's America begins, on Hulu, and it's called Lonely Flowers.
I chose to call the special Lonely Flowers because I wanted to talk a little bit about how collectively as a society, I feel like we're all beautiful people, but we have all somehow become siloed. And when you see a flower by itself on the street, you're like, oh, that's sad. Where are your friends? But when you see flowers together, it's a beautiful and amazing thing. So I just hope that, we can talk a little bit about the loneliness epidemic that's going on in this country. And, dare I say, make a couple jokes about it as well. Do you all feel like one of your callers on your show a while back was talking about how she was done with the people asking the extra questions at the register when you're trying to get rung up, right? And you're, oh, do you support this cause? Donate the money. Do you want to round up to the next whole dollar? I hate that too, but I still rather that than self-checkout. Because I feel like the interaction we've had with the cashier, like, have you ever had a bad day and a cashier just said, hey, nice sweater? And that's enough.
Right.
That's enough to change your whole emotional dynamic. And like that, I don't know. Like, I really feel like the retail experience is where a lot of the disconnect started in this country. And because we didn't have casual interactions with strangers, we now view all strangers as threats and weirdos, and you don't want to be around anybody in public. And so it's a fun way that I'm thankful to Hulu for giving me an opportunity, but it's a fun way to just dissect what we've turned into since COVID.
Yeah. And I'm with you. Like, intellectually, I think, yes, we need more human interaction, and this is what's missing. And then I go out and interact with humans, and then I think I want the fucking self-checkout. And then when I get to the self-checkout, it's wanting me to tip and donate and do all this shit. And then I'm like, oh my God, I want the humans. So I don't know what's going on. I'm both a part of the problem and a part of the solution. But at the end of the day, when I do spend time with other people, like this fantastic nonstop award-winning podcast that we just episode that is going to obviously go viral that we've just recorded with you, I feel better. I like hearing your take on life, and it's the connections that our listeners are hearing right now, hearing us talk. And I do think that with all of the AI that's coming out, AI accounts that's coming out, that human connection is going to be so much more important. So I think I'm going to have to be a big girl, get on my big girl panties. And when I go to checkout, if the register lady is annoying, I need to just embrace it and just answer right back. Like,
kill her with kindness.
I don't really want to donate to that today, but I really do like that lipstick shade on you. You know, just start giving what I need, and just and I'm you know what? I'm going to start the charm offensive in 2025. First of all, I'm going to circle back like the motherfucker that you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to match that energy, which I don't know that I can do. I think you're probably going to be undefeated. But secondly, what I've learned from you, Roy, is we need to start the retail charm offensive, and we need to be super kind to all of these people out there working in all of these places that provide services.
One place where you can easily attack and be different is when you go to these places, because I'm also done with everything being locked up. Like, depending on where you live, you go in a Walgreens, all the shit is locked up. Hey, can you come with me to get the lotion, please? Okay, so then on that walk to get the lotion, how you been? What's been going on? What's your craziest customer? You'd be surprised. Retail employees, no one talks to them. So they would be thrilled to just tell you something about their day. Just, hey, who was shoplifting last? Oh, let me tell you. And then you laugh about crazy people.
Right. And you can make it juicy. You can get some tea and bring that back. Roy, I'm telling you, I can't wait to watch your special.
Yeah. Ask these people, who's having sex with each other in this building right now? What's the workplace sex drama? Oh, let me tell you, the girl in the pharmacy having sex for Percocets right now. Be surprised.
Roy, it has been so much fun having you on. You are fantastic. I know our listeners have loved this, and I want to direct everybody to Hulu to watch Lonely Flowers, your stand-up special, dropping January 17th.
Thank you. And next time I'm on, I'll have a camera that has a battery that lasts the entirety of our interview.
Get your shit together.
Right.
You know what?
We're gonna
Give me your email address, because I'm going to start circling back to that thing until the next time you show up with a goddamn camera that works, Roy.
One email and got $5,000 for inner city baseball. That's the energy you got to have in the Deuce 5. We're not fucking around with people.
I like it.
I'm bringing it. I'm absolutely bringing it. All right. Thanks so much, Roy.
Thanks, Roy.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm 100% in on his life plan.
Absolutely.
For 2025.
You know what's interesting? The way he explained the lonely flower, that was kind of heartwarming to me. Like that's a picture I can get behind.
It's really heartwarming, and as big of assholes as we are.
Right.
I agree with him that when you go to these places, instead of being so irritated at people that are doing their jobs or asking questions, just, how are you doing today? Just show some kindness, because everybody's struggling. Everybody has to live in Trump's America.
Right.
You know? And so I think that his advice on that is really good. And if you want to make it juicier, you can. So, you know, I hated circle backs. Now I'm going to embrace them. Although I am a circle backer, I'm a huge emailer.
Yeah, no.
And I don't let people
you have
off
the energy.
Oh, no, 100%. He is full blown. hashtag inspos, hashtag mood board for me.
Hashtag manifest it.
All right, Pumps, tell them.
We will see you next Tuesday and Thursday.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it. I've had it with that.
Listen up, patriots, gaytriots, and natriots. We have a new podcast that has dropped. It's called iHip News. It's Monday through Friday, every day, 15 to 20-minute hot takes on the political landscape of the United States of America, always served with a side of petty grievances.
We are on all the available platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you get your podcasts, and YouTube.
Please go rate, subscribe, and review so that we will chart upwards with America's greatest legal mind. Pumps, what does an eagle say?
Caw-caw!
A little bit more enthusiasm.
Caw-caw!
That's it. That's
Caw-caw!
the patriotism that this country needs right there.